Welcome to another episode of Road Break Family. Hi to every single one of you. Hope you're having a great 4th of July weekend. And WWE finally gives us a pay per view on a Saturday. And so that's kind of like cool because we have Sunday to spend with our families, do all of that. So we find money in the bank, Paul. This is the third year that we've been covering this. And I feel that like this one was at least on the women's side, something that we all of us wanted. And we're happy. And on the men's, I think that like there's gonna start a new agenda or a new trend with the winner that like was very similar to what they did with John Cena, Roman Reigns. But I want your thoughts about it. All Money in the Bank, I think, I give it like a 5 out of 10.
Yeah, for me, I mean, honestly, a lot of these matches were maybe it's because my expectations were low, but this pay-per-view I actually thought was pretty good. I mean, all things considered, most of the matches really didn't offend anybody too bad.
Yes.
Some of the winners I didn't care for and some of this stuff, but we're gonna get into it. But I will say overall, despite the injuries, no Cody, no Roman, no stuff like that, this was still, a pretty good effort from WWE.
They found a way to at least, like you said, make it like somewhat entertaining. And like you said, there's a lot of people that like suffer. Like that's why some matches really suffer. But we're gonna talk about everything. Thank yous to every single one of you for listening to us, for like supporting us. We feel the love. Forbidden Door, we did amazing. That's it because every single one of you are giving us an opportunity. Don't forget to watch NXT UK also. That show is still suffering. We don't hear from Ilya Dragunov, but we're here to talk about this. What is it? Like, 7 ladies that open up the show, and I feel that like the opportunity was everybody was rooting for who? For Liv Morgan. Remember last year when we did this pay per view, Nikki Ash was the one that got the win, but everybody was pissed in a way because they wanted Liv. Kid Shotzi, another opportunity. Lacey Evans, Asuka, she already won. Former winners, we saw in Alexa Bliss also. Raquel Rodriguez, not Gonzalez anymore. Becky Lynch, she's been buried. So your thoughts on this match? Because I feel that like at least in the winner, they did the right thing.
Yeah, see, I actually like this because I was like, okay, out of all the women in this, there's only 2 I don't want to win, and that's Lacey Evans and Alexa Bliss. Lacey Evans, I thought the character, some of the promos that she was doing weren't very good, so botched her return, I thought. And Alexa Bliss, they're pushing her to the moon, and the fans don't want to see it. They want to see more women like Raquel and Liv and even Shotzi. And I thought, okay, Asuka and Becky Lynch, they're both main eventers. You can, they don't need this win. The only ones who needed would, again, to me, my 2 that I was really pulling for would be a Shotzi or a Liv Morgan. And, I thought this match was really good. Like a lot of of course they have the spots where, anybody can win it, anybody, oh my God. But, you really didn't think like a Becky Lynch or, like I said, an Asuka. I didn't think they were going to win it. And, Liv, it was one of those things where, people were climbing it, beating each other up, and Liv just jumps, and quick climbs up to the top and gets it almost like out of nowhere. So that was good for her. And I'm glad she won it because she was in that group with AJ and Finn. And you thought maybe she's going to get a little push there or something. That completely fell apart after 3 weeks. They were done. That wasn't anymore when Finn, joined, the whatever that group is, not Edge's group anymore. But, now Liv, she got this, and we're going to talk about Liv a little bit later on. But, this was a good way to start the show because the crowd was into it. The crowd was happy.
No, that's the key word, right? So you said it. Everybody was into it. We've been waiting for this. We wanted this to happen like a year ago. Remember when she challenged Becky Lynch like day one? We wanted her to win. It was her opportunity. She's been ready to be a champion. She's the only one from the Riot Squad that stayed. So, right, like you said, they did the same thing like they did to Bayley like 3 years ago, 2019 or 2018. I'm not completely sure, but I remember she won and then she later on will cash in. So, like, I like this. And again, we're really excited for her. She's been working so hard. Remember the Liv Morgan like 2-3 years ago. The Liv Morgan that didn't find herself yet, that couldn't find herself yet. But finally, she's a better wrestler, a much better promo, a much better character. And that's why I feel that, like, on top of the injuries, Paul, on top of all the people that maybe could have been potentially the original winners, she finally got the opportunity. So we're happy. And that was, like you said, best way to start the show. Let's move on to this one because they did this in a way that like you knew that like because of like the outcome of this, you're like, maybe if he gets somehow added to the match, he's gonna win later. So you know what? This to me was just a waste of our time. The United States Championship is not even important anymore. And Austin Theory, I don't care for him. No relevance there. The title doesn't matter. Bobby Lashley's great. I feel that like he needs to have another match with Roman or with like Brock Lesnar. Then I'm gonna care more about the Almighty. But in the end, he gets the win, and that's good. Taps out, new United States champion. Good for Bobby.
Yeah, I mean, and I enjoyed this match because both these guys great wrestlers. But like you said, Austin Theory, I thought, MVP and Almost they're in the Money in the Bank match. So, Almost is, and it's just so it's not gonna screw him, or like. So I'm like, are they just gonna put Bobby Lashley over? Because there's no way. I know they're pushing Theory, but I'm like, no way he beats Bobby Lashley. So I'm like, but what are they gonna do with Theory? Because he's the new John Cena, the Drew McIntyre, the Roman Reigns. He's the guy. That's Vince's guy. That's they're gonna do something with him, and clearly we saw what happened later on. But I enjoyed this, and I'm glad he tapped out. It was a good win for Lashley, and hopefully this does something with the relevancy of the title, because I don't think they're going to put it on Austin Theory. We're going to talk about that later on.
I really hope that they
don't
do that. Because...
But that to me, that's Cody's belt. But now, hey, doing this right here, having it on Bobby Lashley, to me, it makes the U.S. Championship, better than the Intercontinental.
Oh yeah, and nothing against Gunter or Walter, but it's just it's not the same guy. All the charisma, all like the not even like the mantra, all of that energy, all of like the persona is not there anymore. So
but I mean, you got to think though, it's that's still pretty good company though. If you look at who are your single or who are your male champions not doing well, even the tag teams, because Usos aren't slouches. Who are your male champions? Lashley, Walter, Roman. And
Paul, if you think about it, also for Survivor Series, if they stay like that, that's a great match. Lashley against Gunter or Walter, that will, that's a great matchup. So
what does Roman do? Does he sit in the ring and just punch himself, or?
Yeah, it's Roman against himself, like you said. Yeah, or like he just lays down and then he puts the finger in the poker doom of like that, done. But like you said. So like let's move on and Liv, like some like moments with her, like she's excited, like my dream. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna consider it. Oh fuck that, later on we're gonna hear what happened really quick. That was all BS from Liv. But she was just like the heat of the moment, or she was really excited for what happened. This was just a transitional match because the original one was supposed to be Rhea Ripley going against Bianca Belair for the Raw Women's Championship. This was just like the same stuff that we saw months ago. If you don't believe us, go in the archives and saw the SmackDowns. Like when Bianca Belair was like the SmackDown Women's Champion, and the feud against Carmella. It was the same thing, very quick. 1, 2, 3, Bianca gets the win. Post attack from Carmella and all of that. The feud might continue a little bit. We thought that there might be a cash in right here, but like it wasn't so good. But in the end, Bianca Belair still is the champion. Their whole idea is Rhea Ripley, so I think that they're just gonna keep giving her like people just like until Rhea's ready.
Yeah, and that's, like you said, this is the second verse, same as the first. We've seen this before. Carmella doesn't look bad, but, boom, KOD and done. And the post-match attack, yeah, they're going to drag this out till Rhea Ripley comes back because they don't have anybody else. The divisions are so small. This needs to be another one that they do a unification and just have one women's division.
Exactly. So, like again, like you said, there's not a lot of people. Remember Sasha Banks, Naomi, all of those could have been potential contenders right here. They don't do that anymore, so that's why they're suffering. There was like a stupid, thing with Alexa Bliss, and a lot of people are roasting him. That's the only reason I'm going to name it, and it's just because Lily was there because they're promoting the WWE credit card. There you go, Alexa Bliss. Like, there's nothing else for her to do. She should just be, like a. An actress. Like,
do you know what I heard? Do you know what I heard? The maximum charges for on one of those credit cards.
Well, I don't know. What
3 million.
Oh wow! Like that's why. There you go. That's why Lily's doing it. That's why.
Yeah. So 3 million. So when you need to pay off, interns and other people, you can pay them off.
Exactly. That's the WWE you guys. Yeah. That's why we all have to support the WWE. There you go. Let's go to one of like the best matches, like you said, Paul, because both teams are great. Maybe I've never been a fan of like the Street Profits. I will say that. I don't have any. I don't have any reason why I should hide it. But like this was just match-wise, it's kind of like for me, if you will see the New Day going against the Usos. Like tag team action, good flying, like a lot of good combinations, good sequences. These four, God know what they're doing. Montez Ford, like was called by Bianca Belair in one of the interviews that she did. He will be like he will be like a really big deal in WWE in the next years to come. But Jay and also the other Russo,
Jimmy.
Jimmy, like they're always like good, and they're not gonna lose those titles for they are gonna make a big deal when they lose them. So what do you think about the match? Because the outcome was just a bit controversial there.
Yeah, I mean, I like this match. To me, I mean, we haven't seen these guys wrestle now for a little bit. I know we used to see him wrestle all the time, and we were sick of it. And we didn't see him wrestle for a little bit, and I thought, okay, let me see how this is. And I mean, again, I haven't watched their past matches recently, watched them when they were live, but I feel like this might have been the best one. This had a lot of time. This was really good. I mean, and when the Street Profits made their comeback, the crowd was into it. Angelo Dawkins, big dive to the outside, slams. I forget if it was Jimmy or Jay who it was. Angelo Dawkins goes up, and Angelo Dawkins, Montez Ford, he got jacked. Like they said, he had to add at least 20, 25 pounds of pure muscle. You can see it in his upper body, his arms. He looks jacked, and I'm sure Vince and all them notice it and go, okay, as soon as we can split this tag team up, we're going to do it.
You're going to be the next single star.
Yeah. And you, Tubby, you're going to be chasing the 24/7 championship.
Yes.
But
yes.
No, I mean, no, all jokes aside, I mean, he hits the big frog splash, but no, that wasn't it. They broke that up. They hit the 1D, and then, they go to pin him, 1, 2, 3. But was the shoulder up? Wasn't it? You see the picture. So again, another rematch because
it's controversial. There was
because there's no other teams. They don't know what else to book. So let's just do another rematch.
The Warriors, the Viking Raiders, they're actually like heel now on SmackDown. But again, like you said, like the fact that like there's not a lot of teams, the roster is really thin, or like even if it was a little bigger, but like the clear teams. Oh, there's one.
And another team you could do, potential team, isn't going to be a team. And I might be jumping the gun here. Excuse me. You might, if you probably have a picture of it, but Logan Paul.
Yeah,
he's coming in, and it was, is he going to team with The Miz? Is that going to happen? No, he pretty much is coming in as a baby face, I would assume. And he said, no, actually, screw The Miz. I don't want nothing to do with him. I'm going to kick his ass, and I'm going to do it at SummerSlam. So, boom, we see that match. So that's probably going to be his debut match for his contract, whatever he signed. Yeah. So, we saw that. So, that could have even been a tag team for a little bit. The Miz and Logan Paul, But
that
no, we're not going to see that. But
you had, like, for example, like in this situation, Finn Balor and Damian Priest. You have a heel team right there also, but I mean, or you have the Mysterios that could go one more time with the Usos for all the titles. But like you said, the situation with the booking in WWE and all the problems that are like carrying from like the suits, all of that things that like are happening with Vince McMahon is really carrying the product. But at least match quality, they had these 4 guys that they know that they can give us a good match. They did it on pay-per-view, good stuff. Other thing, a lot of people from this promo poll are saying that like it might be Bray Wyatt. A lot of others are saying no, it's a Gable Stevenson because of here. The medal. You gave Stevenson or Gable. They're saying that it might be him. So, I mean, like his comment is imminent. So we'll see what happens. But for a second, a lot of people, oh my God, the Fiend Bray Wyatt is back. Not true. Don't be buying that. But like, at least Stevenson is being like said that like, oh, he's the next big thing. He's the next Kurt Angle. He's the next Brock Lesnar. Only we're ready to see it.
Yeah, I mean, it's honestly one of those things. They drafted him to Raw probably close to a year ago. They promoted him, did all this shit, then he just didn't do anything, and then nothing. So, if this is him, he needs to debut and have a match and kick somebody's ass and be good.
Exactly.
Because otherwise, it's flat. Yeah.
We need somebody that we got to, rely on, something where we like actually have some more excitement from WWE lately. We need somebody that's going to bring us that back.
Because to me, is he just the last thing that we'll move on? Is he any better than Braun Breaker? Why is Braun Breaker in NXT in that shit show? And Stevenson clearly wasn't good enough for TV, or he would have been on Raw already.
Exactly. No, yeah, like you said, Braun Breaker, that would be somebody that, hey, at least we know that he's good now. He's got a lot of experience now. He's going to be in main eventing, a few takeovers, a few like specials. He's going to be main eventing. Also, like this Tuesday, he's going to be on like the Great American Bash, going against also like Cameron Grimes for the NXT, UK, the NXT Championship. We'll see what happens on that. Also, we'll have some coverage if necessary. Family, let's talk about the SmackDown Women's Championship. Not because of the match per se, because these two not a rivalry. We know that like they're best friends outside of the WWE. This was just a bad choice for like just a match, because that this tells you that Ronda Rousey does not want to defend the title against anybody else. She's not really involved with the product, with the evolution of the character. It was just these two having fun. We knew that like Ronda was gonna win at any time of the match. This at least there you go, the sharpshooter. We saw like also the ankle lock, but Ronda retains Paul. This is the good part right here. Out of nowhere, yeah, when Ronda's just getting ready, there you go. You see Liv Morgan going and cashing in. At the beginning, we thought, oh my God, she's gonna lose. That's not fair for her, but we get to see her right there. There you go. The roll up, the most important and lethal like finisher in the WWE, and Liv Morgan wins the SmackDown Women's Championship. Respect for Ronda Rousey. What do you think about all this tempo?
Yeah, I mean, the respect from Ronda kind of killed it at the end. Ronda should have been like heel, rolled out, been pissed. We should have saw the full heel turn.
Yes.
Hear from Ronda. Unless Ronda's done. Unless she said, "Hey, listen, I'm done. I'll give the money back I owe, but I don't want to do this anymore. I'm done. Screw it." Who knows what the whole thing is? I'm sure we'll find out the reason why. Because you would think, as much as the fans like Liv Morgan, the person that's really going to sell the tickets and move the merch is Ronda Rousey.
No, it's true.
Because that's the name. I mean, maybe not anymore. Maybe I'm wrong, but you would just think more people know who Ronda Rousey is than Liv Morgan. Yes. So I'm surprised they actually did it here. I mean, this match was good. It was exactly what you had thought it would be. Natalya can have a great match with anybody,
yes.
And this was good with Ronda. Natty looked good, but she always sold for Ronda. Ronda was always in control, and Natty can sell great too. But like you said, the main thing here was afterwards. This is good for Liv Morgan. Now it's one of those things to see. I'm not saying, oh, you got to set the world on fire and be the best champion ever. But hey, they gave her the ball. Now let's see if she can run with it.
No, yeah, because they did the same thing with Nikki Ash. Because remember, the next day after, like she cashed in on Charlotte, and it only lasted like a month. And now what's going on with Nikki Ash? Now that she's chasing the 24/7 championship and all of that, but at least Liv had her time in the sun. This was well done for me. I hope that, like you said, maybe Ronda Rousey steps away, because I just feel that like she does not want, she's not interested in doing this. She doesn't want to do the shows every single weekend, all of that. So I feel that like that's why they put this thing on Liv Morgan, because we know Liv Morgan is actually going to be every single weekend, every single day. She's going to be the champion. She's going to be carrying the company in this and in the show, SmackDown, and as champion.
Oh, so, yeah, and she's passionate about
exactly the passion that she has. Ronda Rousey completely lags off. So that's the thing. Ronda just cares to be a mom. She doesn't need the money. She has a Twitch thing. She's again won millions of money with the UFC and all of that. So for me, it's just like this was just a whole idea that it was poorly executed. Nobody has been nearly as excited. She became just a regular wrestler instead of being the attraction. So there you go. That tells you like the whole thing. But for me, Liv Morgan at least, winning the championship, that was refreshing. That was very refreshing. And everybody, you deserve it. You deserve it. Michael Cole even saying that, when she met her, like she was just 14, 15 and everything. And she said, one day I'm going to be a champion. Hey, this is the day. I can tell you champion now. Good stuff for Liv. Congratulations. The first match that is official for SummerSlam, Roman Reigns for Brock Lesnar. This is going to be just like another one. It's the 7th one out of all this, like in years that they have. Hopefully Brock Lesnar or something happens. I don't think that like all the winner of the Money in the Bank is going to cash in, but like hopefully Seth Rollins or somebody like takes away that championship. Because with the new schedule, it's really boring to see Roman every now and then. And, Brock, we don't even see him anymore. So tell me, Paul, a little bit about, the main event, because it was very enjoyable. Despite the winner, I really like this match.
Yeah, and, we saw the 7 guys. They all made their entrance and everything. And it was actually interesting because I was looking at the field here and I thought, of all these guys, who's going to win it? I mean, you would had to think Seth Rollins. You had to think he was the favorite. They're really hyping it up. Maybe Riddle, but Riddle just had his title shot. And I mean, Madcap, but again, nobody would believe he would win it. So you're thinking, who is this going to? Then Adam Pearce comes down. We're adding an 8th guy. And I thought, oh my God, did somebody find a miracle cure? Is Cody going to be in it? Please let it be him, but obviously it wasn't going to be him. And here comes Austin Theory. So it goes, okay, this guy's clearly going to win it. Commentary even said, oh, great. Now, Pat McAfee was like, oh, great. Austin Theory, and then Michael Cole goes, well, this doesn't mean he's gonna win it. Yes, it does, Michael Cole.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Yes,
that's when like he got in, I was like, okay, this is done.
Yeah, and I mean, unfortunately, again, I don't want to say that it kind of killed it because anybody could have won it, but no, not really. The only guy who really would have made any other sense to win it besides Austin Theory, and he only makes sense to win it because they're pushing him, and he's Vince McMahon's favorite. But the only other guy that would have made sense is Seth Rollins.
Yes.
I mean, this was good. There's a couple times, where I like when Drew and Sheamus were, they were beating up Austin Theory.
Yes.
They were fighting and they were clearly feuding, but but they were both beating up Austin Theory, and I mean there were some really, really good interactions in this. You have in this picture where they put Omos through the table.
That was good.
Yeah, it took like 6 guys, I think, to put them through the table, and a couple guys had their shot at the. Grabbing the briefcase. Riddle looked good in here, and we'll talk about Riddle a little bit at the end. But Drew had a shot. Everybody looked good in here.
But that was stupid though when they brought Butch or Pete Dunne.
Yeah. I mean that. Yeah, like you said, Drew was
between them. I don't like this.
No, Pete Dunne. They completely made him look like a joke. He doesn't look any serious at all. Like he was, a serious, legit wrestler. Now he's a complete imbecile. But, at the end of this thing, you see Rollins, he's going up. He eats a big, from Matt Riddle, a big RKO. So he's taken out of this thing. And pretty much at the end, Austin Theory.
Marcus Moss and Austin Theory fighting for the briefcase. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is going to happen.
Yeah, and Austin Theory unhooks it. And, the crowd kind of half cheer, half boo. Kind of, we kind of expected this. Everybody's just, I mean, to me, the best thing you can do with this is he cashes in main event of SummerSlam, but it's last man standing. So what's he gonna do? It'll have to be after the match, or if he does it where the match is still going on, he gets pinned. There's no way he wins the belt, and if he does win the belt, he defends it on Raw and he loses it. There's no way, because if he can't be the guy in your marquee, a Cody Rhodes, a Seth Rollins, a Roman Reigns.
He's not ready for
Brock
to be
Lesnar.
That level. He's not ready, nowhere near.
No way.
And it's just like they say he has potential, he has the character. Yes, he's a great wrestler. But
if you want to have anybody, I'm sorry to cut you off, but if you want to have anybody to look legit, I shouldn't even say look legit, but at least look important anytime they walk on screen, have it be Austin Theory. Have him hold on to this briefcase. But they it's like hot potato. It's like, a fresh.
You have to just cash it in right away.
Yeah, it's like nobody can just hold on to it. Let him hold on to it. Let it be at WrestleMania. He can be standing there. Maybe there's a shot of him at Gorilla, just standing there, with the briefcase, just looking out like, maybe I'll cash in tonight. Why does they need to cash in right away? Because it's, if he cashes in and loses, he's gonna look like an idiot. If he cashes in and wins, there's gonna be a pop. But when he's a shitty champion because he's not ready yet, he's gonna look like a bigger idiot.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree with you. And then, for example, I don't know, maybe have John Cena be the champion of something. Maybe split the titles one more time or something, and then if he catches on John Cena, I don't know what he can do. But if he catches in on Bobby Lashley and gets the United States Championship again,
no, he's going after. No, he's going after Roman and whoever that is, or that champion. There's no way that he's going to cash in on a mid card. There's no way.
And it's funny, 2 days ago, not 2 days, but 2-3 years ago, COVID days when he actually was taken out because of the accusations of the Speak Up movement and all of that. Look at that, Vince McMahon had fade all over him.
Well, look at what Vince does. Do you think Vince gives a shit?
There you go, man. Well, he does the same thing, like you said. But the one thing is the one has money and the other one doesn't have a lot of money as Vince.
Well, the one has the money in the bank.
So. Yes, and now he's the Money in the Bank winner. So, like you said, good stuff. Match-wise, I really enjoyed that. The winner, I have not enjoyed this from the longest time. Brock Lesnar winning and didn't mean anything. Also, when we got to see Austin Theory, when we got to see also Big E, people that are not really into these guys.
Big E was at least okay. Okay, he wins the belt. He was the champion. The people that was like a Liv Morgan. The people wanted it. That was at least okay. But no, the Baron Corbins, the Braun Strowmans, Brock Lesnar's, even this isn't good. Because if Theory, he's not Edge. He's not a legit heel to cash in.
He's not Roman. Yeah, You know, he's
Yeah.
not those guys that like, you know, he's not Dean Ambrose or John Moxley at that time. You know, he was a different character. Like Seth Rollins, like people that would be like, okay, at least we know. At least it's better, but we'll see what they do with it. Like you said, hopefully he doesn't cash in right away. I mean, Roman Reigns is not going to be on Raw, so like that's not going to happen. But let's see what the future holds for these guys. But like, thank you so very much, family. We really appreciate you. We love you. Thanks for being with us all this time. Don't forget to go watch all the videos and more content coming to you very, very soon. Paul, where they can find you.
And guys, make sure you follow us Rope Break on Facebook, the OG Rope Break on Twitter, Original Rope Break on Instagram, Twitch, and TikTok, and of course right here on YouTube, the home of the #1 podcast in the YouTube wrestling community, the Original Rope Break.
And you and me have one more thing that is left to say, and that is...